Hi, welcome to lesson 5. And today's lesson I'm going to suggest is probably the most important lesson so far to date, because today I'm going to give you an introduction to what we call musically as scales. And for those that don't know or never heard of a scale before, scales are a sequence of notes that ascend in a certain order and have a certain sound and then descend in the same way. And everything that's ever been written musically comes from a scale. Every melody, every riff, every guitar solo comes from a certain type of scale. And we've got scales for every genre of music. So scales, I liken scales to be the language of music. Okay, and we've got, just like we've got major and minor chords, we also have major and minor scales. So I'm going to be starting the lesson with some scales, and then the second half we're going to be doing a little bit more chord work, because in next week's lesson we're going to be learning our first song. So I'll be giving you a bit of preparation for that. Okay, so first of all, then I'm going to show you a few examples of typical scales that are used in rock and pop music. Okay, we've got major scales. Okay, we've got minor scales. We've got blues scales. So scales really open up a world of music where we can create our own little riffs and licks and experiment using a style of play called improvisation, which I'm going to be looking at in the later lessons. That's just basically using scales to make up little solos, riffs and the like. But we're going to start off today with a couple of basic scales, just to get used to the fingering and the sequence of notes. I'm going to start off with a major scale, which I'm going to demonstrate first of all, which is C major. C major, and the major scale is you probably remember it from school as being the do re mi scale. Okay, so I'll just play you the sequence of notes, and then we'll break it down nice and slowly. Okay, so beginning with C major then, so called because it starts on a C and finishes on a C, and all the notes are relative to the C major scale. So once again, I'll play it nice and slowly, then we'll break it down. Okay, now first thing to say that sequence is an 8-note sequence, which is termed an octave, and that is the musical distance from the low C, or the starting C, to the high C at the highest point of the scale. So that's a musical distance called an octave. And the notes in between ascend in alphabetical order from the C. So the notes in sequence go like this: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C at the octave. So the notes will be coming up on screen as you play through this. And I'm also going to be giving you a map of your fretboard as well, so you can actually see where the notes are written. You just use it as a reference tool for now. We don't expect you to memorise the notes straight away, but it's going to be really useful just to see where all those notes sit on the guitar neck there. Okay, and you also notice I'm also using one finger for each fret. Again, really important to keep your fingering consistent, as we said before. So first finger is going to take care of the first fret notes, second fret notes, and third for the third fret. Okay, really important to keep to that fingering. So let's break that down nice and slow first of all. Okay, so starting with your third finger on the fifth string, third fret on the C. And we play the open D, fourth string open. And second finger on the second fret, fourth string, E. Third finger on the third fret, fourth string, F. Then we play the third string open, which is a G. Second finger, second fret, third string, A. Then to the open second string, B. And then the top note, the highest note, the octave C. Then we come back down exactly the same way we've come. So to the open B string, second finger, second fret on the third string, A, open third string, G, third fret, fourth string, F, second finger, second fret, fourth string, E, open D, and hopefully you'll finish up back where you started at the C. Okay, and as I said at the beginning of the lesson, just like we have major and minor chords, we have major and minor scales. And the same kind of theory applies to major and minor scales. The major scales tend to be sounding nice and bright and happy and upbeat, and the minor scales are much more darker, much more sadder sounding. So again, two different sounding scales. The next one I'm going to be showing you is the A minor natural scale. There are several different types of minor scale, and this first minor scale we're going to be looking at is the A minor natural scale, and it goes like this. So as you can hear, it's very, very different sounding to the major scale. And again, it's an eight note scale, starting on the low A, which is the open fifth string, and then ascending once again in alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and back at the A there to finish. Okay, then back down the same return, the opposite way, back down the scale. Returning back down the same way and finishing where you started. Okay, so I'm going to talk you nice and slowly once again through that scale. Starting on the open fifth string A. And second finger, second fret, fifth string, B. Third finger, third fret, fifth string, C. Open D, fourth string open. Second fret, fourth string E. Third fret, fourth string F. Open third string, G. Second fret, third string A. Back down, A, to open third string G, third fret, fourth string F, second fret, 4th string E, open 4th string D, 3rd fret 5th string C, 2nd fret 5th string B. Once again, if you've done it right, you should finish where you started on the open A. And that's A minor natural scale. Okay, once again, as is always the case when we learn anything new, really important to take it nice and slowly. So make sure you get good quality notes again, fingers nice and forward in the frets. Each finger takes care of its own fret, as I've said, and try not to cut the notes off too short. Okay, so think something to avoid. Okay, so nice smooth transition through the notes. Doesn't matter how steady you go to begin with, the speed will pick up, as hopefully you've found already. Nice and slow. You probably need to go a lot slower than that even, just to navigate your way through that sequence of notes, because it's all brand new and your fingers won't be used to going in those positions. So just as long as you get those correct notes, that's the important thing, and your correct fingering. And then once you're confident with the sequence, then you can speed it up. And just to finish this little section on scales, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of song riffs that have come from the two scales that we've looked at today. At the beginning of the lesson, I used an example from the C major as well, so I'll just play you through that, which is the introduction to the Irish Rover by the Pogues, which follows the melody, and it goes like this. There we go, that's a C major. A riff which can be taken from the A minor scale would be the intro riff to I Predict a Riot by the Kaiser Chiefs, which goes like this. Okay, so practice those. We'll be doing lots of new scales as the weeks go by, and a bit more work with the metronome as well with the scales. Okay, for the second half of the lesson, I'm going to be just doing a bit more work on those minor chord shapes that we tackled last week, and just look at the strumming pattern with the old metronome and just keep that nice and tight, and also to recap on a few strategies for changing from one chord to the other. So I'm going to help you with those tricky some of those tricky minor changes as well. But let's just recap on the strumming pattern. So we're mixing up down strums and up and down strums. So as I said last week, we don't always stick to one pattern of strumming, either be it up and down strumming or just down strums. We tend to mix them up, and by all means experiment with that idea. You know, you can make your own strumming patterns up as you go, and experimenting is a great way just to learn new ideas and learn new strumming patterns. So give that a whirl as well. I'm going to set the metronome as we did last week, just at 60. Keep it at 60. Again, you can work with different tempos as you feel comfortable. Okay, so we'll stick that on at 60 there. And don't forget, there's down strums on the beat, the up strums on the off beat. So that'll give us 1, 2, 3. Okay, and again I can vary that up, change that around a little bit and make some of my own patterns up. And the same principle can apply to the major chords with the 12-bar blues sequence that we looked at over the last couple of weeks as well. Okay, so if you feel comfortable, by all means, try and experiment with some different strumming ideas and see what you come up with. Let's have a look at some of those tricky changes then. Once again, from the minor chords. Okay, your A minor first of all. The hardest one change that you will make is that A minor to D minor. So we're just dropping every finger down. So again, avoid taking your fingers off the strings. Just drop your fingers down and try and get it simultaneously, that change. Okay, so you might find at present that your first finger's going down first and then your second and third are following. Try and work that into a simultaneous change as you practice. And back to A minor we go again. The change to E minor is a lot easier, all right? So you just lifting your second and third onto the fifth and fourth strings there. And same change when you go back to your A minor, just dropping your second and third and adding your first finger in there. And again, I can reiterate, you can practice this just sat casually at home. Just practice those changes because muscle memory is a great thing. Get your muscle memory going and those changes will come all the quicker. Memorizing those chords as well, like I said before, is really important. Get those shapes firmly established in your head, and then those changes will come a lot quicker. Okay, well that's it for lesson 5. For your practice schedule this week, as usual, start off with the finger exercise, get your fingers warmed up, and then tackle those new scales that we've learnt today. Because in coming weeks, like I said, we're going to be learning lots of different scales, and they're really useful and they really open up your playing long term to different things. And then keep working on those chords, those all important changes, strumming patterns as well. Working on those strumming patterns, because next week we're going to be learning our first song, which is going to be Wild Thing by the Troggs. That song uses A, D and E, the first major chords that we learned. So I thought it'd be great just to put those into a real song so you can experience the chord uses in real time. And there's some different little strumming patterns in that song which we're going to be looking at. So your strumming also is important just to get used to those different strumming patterns as well. So experiment a little bit with those strumming patterns and have fun. By all means, keep playing with your E-Ride and hopefully getting that up to speed with the backing track. And I look forward to seeing you next week.